Muslims who engage in discussions about interfaith dialogue hold a range of opinions on religions outside of Islam. Simply, there are two extreme stances, with the majority falling somewhere in between. On one extreme, there are those who primarily emphasize the Sharia and divine strictness. They often label non-Muslims as unbelievers and, at times, even include Muslims who disagree with them in this category. They justify their position by referencing Quranic verses that critiqued practices and beliefs of unbelievers, polytheists, and other religions. On the opposite extreme, there are individuals who view the human connection with God primarily through the lens of love and mercy. They support their stance by citing Quranic verses that command God's prophets and those who follow their teachings. They assume that the virtuous and sincere individuals among adherents of other religions, much like devout Muslims, will attain salvation. Even those who may not lead righteous lives like bad Muslims are likely to be surprised by God's forgiveness. We have ever thoroughly discussed Ibn Arabi's perspective on religious diversity. On the one hand, Ibn Arabi doesn't refuse the very existence of other religions which do bring human beings to God, and indeed Islam itself does not abrogate the truth of the previous messengers. Quotes, "And we have sent down unto thee the book in truth, confirming the book that came before it, and as a protector over it." Nevertheless, on the other hand, Ibn Arabi asserts that the most perfect path and the only path leading human beings to happiness is but Islam, thus becoming the path of perfection and perfect salvation. Moreover, even Ibn Arabi in another occasion maintains that the path of Muhammad is not only superior to other paths, but also substitutes them, not in the meaning of negating their truths, but abrogating their rulings and embodiment. Undeniably, this is the fact that Ibn Arabi clearly uses his preference for his own tradition. In this episode, we are going to succinctly scrutinize Ibn Arabi's view on the salvation of those who adhere to other religions than Islam. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And if you like what I do, please support this channel monetarily, be it PayPal or Patreon. Thanks in advance. Quotes, "Among the path is the path of blessings. It is referred to in God's words, for each among you we have appointed a law and a way. The Muhammadan leader chooses the path of Muhammad and leaves aside the other paths, even though he acknowledges them and has faith in them. However, he does not make himself a servant except through the path of Muhammad, nor does he have his followers make themselves servants except through it. He traces the attributes of all paths back to it because Muhammad's revealed religion is all-inclusive. Hence, the property of all the revealed religions has been transferred to his revealed religion. His revealed religion embraces them, but they do not embrace it. Ibn Arabi analogizes Islam to the brilliance of the sun in a constellation of stars, and other religions to the stars. Regarding the abrogation of other religions as laws, this analogy illustrates that the stars' light, aside from the sun, continues to exist. This indicates that when observed from Earth during daylight with naked eye, the sun's radiance makes the other stars seem to disappear. Put simply, in a narrow perspective, salvation is only for those who adhere to Islam. But what about those who do not adhere to Muhammad's message? Ibn Arabi indeed discusses paradise and hell as the places of consequences and responsibility. The former is the dwelling place of devout believers, while the latter is the destination for those who reject God's message. However, what about those who fail to recognize the superior value of God's message through the Prophet Muhammad? And what about those who remain unconvinced by the evidence presented by the Prophet and the Quran? Here, Ibn Arabi does not view the superiority of Muhammad's message as a reason for condemning sincere non-Muslims to eternal damnation. Quote, God says, "And never do we punish till we have sent a messenger." Note that he didn't say till we have sent a person. Hence, the message of the one who is sent must be established for the one to whom it is directed. There must be clear and manifest proofs established for each person to whom the messenger is sent, for many a sign has within it obscurity or equivocality such that some people do not perceive what it proves. The clarity of the proof must be such that it establishes the person's messengerhood for each person to whom he is sent. Only then, if the person refuses it, will he be taken to account. Hence, this verse has within it a tremendous mercy because of the diversity of human dispositions that lead to a diversity of views. He who knows the all-inclusiveness of the divine mercy, which God reports embraces all things, knows that God did this only because of mercy toward his servants. In the Quran it is asserted, those who disbelieve among the people of the book and the idolaters will not desist until the clear proof comes unto them. In another Quranic verse, but whosoever opposes the messenger after guidance has been made clear to him and follows a way other than that of the believers, we shall leave him on the path he has taken, and we shall cause him to burn in hell. What an evil journey's end. Hence, those who can recognize that Muhammad was truly a messenger of God but consciously refuse his very message will face punishment. On the other hand, those who sincerely do not find Muhammad's message convincing might still be regarded as those who submit to God. It means that the people of the book and the idolaters will be punished after they have recognized the clear proof of Muhammad's message. That is to say, the superior message of Islam must be established first before one can be punished if he rejects it. In other words, even though their beliefs and practices are not the same as Muslims, the sincere non-Muslims who have not recognized the clear proof of Muhammad's message and Sharia can be equated with Muslims. In this sense, Islam in Ibn Arabi's perspective is not such a reified religion but refers to its very meaning, that is, submission. As noted in the Quran, truly the religion in sight of God is submission. Ibn Arabi explains this matter, quote, God said, Abraham ordered his sons to submit to God, and so did Jacob, saying, My sons, God has chosen for you the religion, so do not die except in a state of submission to God, meaning obeying Him. The word ad-din is marked with the definite particle, alif and lam, to designate a specific religion. Hence, this is a known religion which is shown in God saying, the religion in sight of God is Islam, meaning submission. Religion expresses your submission. That which comes from God is the law to which you submit. Religion means submission, and the rule is the law which God promulgated. Thus, using Ibn Arabi's general perspective, human submission to God and God's mercy which embraces all things, hellfire is not the eternal end for those who do not adhere to Islam due to his lack of understanding of Islam. Instead, hell is the place for those who refuse to submit to God after they really know the truth. According to Ibn Arabi, the people who end up in hell are those who do evil, are arrogant, associate partners with God, do not acknowledge the existence of God, and are religious hypocrites. In other words, the people who end up eternally in hell are those who have known the clear evidence of the message of Islam but reject and turn away from it. Therefore, humans who are sincere, honest, do good deeds, acknowledge the oneness of God and believe in the last day, even if they are not Muslims because they do not recognize the clear proof of the message of Islam, will be saved from the eternity of hell. In Ibn Arabi's eschatological view, everyone in the hereafter will be presented with at least one of God's messages before their place in paradise or hell is determined. This is implied in Ibn Arabi's perspective on the fate of children, the mentally ill, or those who lived between the eras of various messengers called Ahlul Fatra. Based on what is documented in the Hadith text, Ibn Arabi asserts that this group of individuals will be set apart from the rest of humans. On the day of resurrection, they will be entrusted with a messenger who will test them by instructing them to enter a fire. This test will serve as a confirmation of God's justice towards His creation. Quote, in the day of resurrection, God gives laws to people who lived between two eras of prophets, to young children and the mentally ill. They will be gathered in one place to do justice, to punish the wrongdoers, and to reward the people of paradise. When they are gathered in one place, secluded from the others, God will send to them a prophet who is the best individual among them, and this prophet will bring a fire and it will be presented to them on this day, and he will say, I am the messenger of al-Haq to you. Some of them will believe in him and some will not. And he will say to them, enter into this fire with your souls, and whoever obeys me will be saved and enter paradise, and whoever disobeys me and offends my command will perish and be among the people of hell. It will happen actually. Whoever among them obeys the prophet and throws himself into the fire will be happy and be rewarded for his acts. He will find this fire cool and peaceful. Whoever disobeys him deserves punishment and will enter into the fire and dwell therein because of his disobedient deeds, so that God will do justice to his servants. In this context, we can contemplate that non-Muslims after the era of the Prophet Muhammad, who have never received any information about the revealed message in any form, whether it be the Quran or previous revelations, can be categorized as Ahlul Fatra. For non-Muslims who lead a righteous life in this world and who receive at least one form of revealed religion, such as the Torah, in Ibn Arabi's soteriological perspective, they will dwell in paradise. The same assumption can also apply to sincere non-Muslims who earnestly seek to learn more about the supreme message, Islam, and pass away without having the time to embrace Islam. God knows best. Thanks for watching.